Good evening, everyone. You're welcome to Farmer Up TV, your number one TV station, where farmers educate farmers with education on how to practice better farming to bring more yield for them, which will generate more profit. So today we'll be speaking on a very important topic: the art of farming okra for more profit. Because okra is one of the vegetables that is highly consumed by Nigerians. And we have an highly experienced farmer here, a young farmer who has succeeded in okra farming. He will be coming live today to tell us what we need to know about okra farming. Every tip from based on his experience, practical tips on how we can excel in okra farming. His name is Akoni Opeoluwa. Mr. Akoni Opeoluwa, it's great to have you on the show. Can you tell us more about yourself to our audience who will be listening to you?
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Akoni Opeoluwa. I'm a seasoned farmer. I have over 7 years experience in agriculture generally, and I'm a hardened okra farmer. I love planting okra because of the cash flow that is related to it. So that's a
Okay,
short form.
based on your experience, because I know you farm watermelon, you farm tomato, and you farm some other vegetables. But based on your
Yeah,
experience, well, why would you prefer farming okra than any other vegetables? Are there any specific reason based on your experience you've seen that, when you say a newbie, you tell them that these are the benefits why okra farming is better than others?
yes. The major benefit that makes okra supersede other crops that made me choose okra specifically is because of the cash flow, because it will give you cash consistently. Sorry, you have a consistent flow of cash when it comes to okra. That's the one thing. And two, okra is very easy to maintain. Unlike other crops, you don't need too much to farm okra. So those are the two major reasons.
Okay, when it comes to farming, I think this is one of the basic things major audience might be interested in. Is there any specific kind of soil that is needed for farming okra?
Okra is a lover of all soil, but preferably it should just be a sandy loamy soil, the one that won't retain too much water. And okra is a very loving soil. You can perform in any other soil, maybe clay, maybe, but the best one is the sandy loamy soil.
Okay, are there specific variety of seeds that do well in okra?
Yeah, naturally, I don't advise going for the open pollinated okra seeds, because if you are a commercial farmer and you need to just want to keep the whole cycle till you start harvesting, you need to keep the whole cycle short. So I prefer going for hybrid seeds that won't take more than 55 days before you start harvesting them. That way you know that if you plant today, before 2 months you start harvesting, and you can harvest as long as you take care of it within the minimal cost.
Wow, that's great. But when it comes to fertilizer application now, any specification for the kind of right fertilizer to use and how to apply? Should it be maybe after 2 weeks in planting?
Yeah,
Or,
when it comes to fertilizer application, after 2 weeks, you need to apply something nitrogen based, and a
okay,
fertilizer that has nitrogen more. You can either do
okay,
20 10
okra
10.
loves nitrogen.
Is that?
I said okra loves more of nitrogen.
No, during its vegetative stage.
Okay, okay. But is it
So it's not
advisable
yet
to
fruit.
use is it but during that vegetative stage, is it advisable to use like poultry droppings? Because I had poultry droppings, I have an high uh, content of nitrogen? Can poultry
Yes,
droppings be used?
poultry
Can hear you. You were
droppings are
discussing about poultry droppings. We're talking about the
yes.
vegetative stage of okra and the use
So
of poultry droppings in it.
poultry droppings is the number one thing that needs to be used. Just like at the preparation stage,
But
just
can you
put it
speak
in.
up so that I'll be able to hear you clearly?
Can you hear me now?
Yes, I can hear you.
So manure generally is really necessary for us in when it comes to production in every other crop, not just okra production. So it's just how you do the poultry dropping. Sorry, during the early stage, which is now preparing
Okay.
the
Can
land.
you speak up so that I'll be able to hear you clearly? Maybe you come closer to your mic.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, I can hear you clearly now, perfectly.
I said poultry droppings is
Okay.
very important. It's very important in any production. It should be like the basis because with the increase in cost of fertilizers, we need something to just supplement. So using that, it will be quite easier for you to reduce the rate of fertilizer you use because for it to be chicken droppings, it will be very interesting. It will give you just like a booster to the plants. So
Okay.
fertilization will be reduced when you use the droppings. So
Okay. So okay.
after that, you now need to just apply NPK fertilizers. You can preferably, the one that is quite common within our society is now NPK 15 15 15.
Yes.
So that can be easily acquired then used on the plants, which is it should be between the space of every 2 weeks after the first application of 2010, which is after 2 weeks of planting. Then 2 weeks after planting, you use
Okay.
NPK 15 15. So you can apply that every 2 weeks so as to maximize the yield of the crop.
Okay. So after planting
Also,
now,
if you can
or
get
let me okay, we are with
hello,
you.
I
Yes,
said
we are
also
with
if you
you.
can
You can
get
go.
can lay your hand on a certain variety of NPK which is 20, 12 12 17. That is high is high in potassium. So that can be used during the fruiting stage because when our plants get to the fruiting stage, all they need is more of potassium and less of the others.
Okay, when they get to the stage where they will start producing fruit, the farmer need to use fertilizer that has high concentration of potassium. Like, did you hear what I said? I said, so when it gets to the fruiting stage, the farmer
Yeah.
have to use a fertilizer that has a high concentration of potassium to promote more
Yes. Yes.
fruiting, right?
Yes. Yes.
Okay. So, but before planting, is there any measures in place in preparing the soil?
Yes. When
Like
it comes to
maybe
preparing the soil,
maybe we need
we should
to treat.
guard against nematode. We should guard against nematode, which is by getting nematicides. You can easily get that so as to because of the future and the longevity, of the plants. We will need nematicide to work on that so as to prevent that in the future. And also,
Okay.
if you can get hold of single super phosphate, which is phosphorus, that will help in rigorosity of the plant. So it makes their stem thick and they will be quite firm. So they look well robust. When we talk about how thick someone is, so that's what phosphorus will do.
Okay. So after planting, are there other farm operation, maybe in terms of weeding, in terms of uh, protecting pests and diseases? Like which other farm operations and within which week are they carried out?
Yes, farm operations. The first weeding. Let's talk about weeding first. Weeding should be
Okay.
done 2 weeks after planting. 2 weeks after planting, before you apply the first fertilizer. So as you won't just be feeding the weed.
Okay.
So once you weed, then you apply fertilizer. That way, the fertilizer will work for the plants, the target audience. Let me just put it in that manner.
Okay.
So that's the first thing. That's the first set of weeding, and the second weeding should be according to how the wheat grows. So you need to just do that, and if you can't do that because of rate at which our workers are not that available nowadays. Once the
Okay.
okra is forming canopy, you can start the application of herbicide, but you must have a spray guard that you can easily maneuver the furrows, so it won't affect our target audience, which is our plant, which is our okra. So that's the aspect of weeding. Now, when
Within.
we come to insecticides, we need to get insecticide against our leaf feeders, because we have different leaf feeders, which are the beetles, the aphid, the caterpillars, and that's the single. You will just need to get an insecticide that covers the three at once, which is the leaf feeders and the pod feeders as well. We have the hairworms and others. So those one single insecticide can work for that, because we can use profenofos and all other ones, but for recommendations, because we might talk about brand here, and our audience might not be able to get the brands anywhere.
Yes.
But the moment you get to the agro store, once you say, okay, this is what is affecting, which is the beetle or the aphid, they will know, okay, this is what you are talking about. So we have different kinds of insecticides that can work for them, and spraying them should be when you see them, not when you don't see them already. The moment you see them, it's better you spray them, because majorly all these leaf feeders and our pod feeders, they come during the moment the plant is fruiting. So that way we will need to just be quite
Okay.
careful, so as not to give our customers something that is not healthy enough.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. So are there other farm operations you carried out apart from, the weeding, apart from protecting the plant against pests and diseases? Are there other things you do again
We
doing
al- we,
it to
we also give
harvest?
them we also give them foliar fertilizers apart from basal, so as to
Okay.
boost their foliage. You get. So
Okay.
mostly we do them during the vegetative stage and the fruiting stage as well. It depends. So once it gets to the fruiting stage, we look for foliar fertilizers that are more of potassium based.
Okay.
So when
So,
it
but
comes
based
to
on the,
vegetative stage,
yeah, I'm with
when
you.
it
You
comes
can go on.
okay, when it comes to vegetative stage, we give them the one that are nitrogen based. So as you just give them, it's just like feeding them regularly.
Okay. So, but
So
based on
after
your
that,
experience, okay, you
yes,
can go on. Yeah,
based
you
on
can
my
go on after
experience.
that.
So
Yeah,
after that,
what
all
was
we need.
just okay.
Hello.
Yeah, we
I
are
said
with you. You
after
can
that,
go on.
all we need to do is just look into the close monitoring of the plants, so that You know, prevention is better than cure. All these are insects. Because majorly we have more of insects than fungi. And the only time we have much of fungi is when the rain is way too much and we don't have sun that much. Are you with me? Doesn't are you with me?
Yes, we are with you. You can go on. We are with you. Yes, we are with you, Mr. Paula. We are with you.
So so when when it comes to fungi, it's majorly when the rain is way too much. Maybe we have series of rainfalls like 3 4 days without sun. That way we just need to look into our fungicides so as to prevent our plants from withering off while they haven't given us our expected yield and returns.
Okay. So based on your experience now, what are the disease you've encountered on farm, and what did you do? Like the diseases and pests you encounter on farm, what did you do to treat them? So that our farmers, when they see the symptoms, they're able to know that, oh, this is what might be happening to this okra plant. This is what we can do to
That's
resolve.
that's one major thing is that's why I said the best thing. One major disease that is quite scary when it comes to okra is the nematode infection. So if we can just curb that at first, that one is just like conquering like 70% of the diseases that is going to affect okra. You get, and majorly nematode infection happen when your plant is already fruiting. So that way you won't have a choice than to just dispose the plant because once nematode affects the plant, is that there will be close to no cure. And if there is a cure, it won't even commensurate with what you are expecting to get from the plant. So the best thing is use your nematicide way before planting, it is recommended that a week before planting you should put the nematicide. So after that, for the fungal infections, you can just get wide range of copper related fungicides. We have them in series of brand and all. They can curb the rate at which we have the fungi attack on them. So those are the major diseases, sorry, that we can talk about. The remaining are just minor and can be curbed
Oh,
easily.
okay. So, okra takes like how many weeks before harvest, like from
Now,
seed to harvesting? How many weeks is it?
now okra takes out within the range of 50 to 60 days. It depends on the variety of the okra. You can see some that can even mature at 45 days. Sorry, but majorly it's around 50 to 60 days.
All right. So, but when it comes to harvesting, are there other techniques you do that make the okra to stay longer when for storage, or are there specific kind of variety of okra that is planted that lasts long that don't really spoil like the normal one? Or are there any, like what I'm trying to say, are there any other ways you people do in okra farming to ensure that the okra doesn't quickly get spoiled after harvesting?
Okra is all about management. Once you harvest, the best option, if you know that you don't have a market for it, the best option is to slice the okra and dry it.
Yeah, I see that a lot in the north, in Kebbi State.
Yes,
Oh,
yes,
but do
yes.
they
The
really
best
do it
option
in
is
Southwest?
they do it over here as well. But the main thing is the retailers do that more often. So the farmer for a farmer to have
Okay.
that time to do that, unless you create some set of people to just do that for you. You harvest because of sales. You tell them to slice it, then dry it for you, of which you pay them off. That's the best form. And once it gets to that to dry season, once it gets to dry season, is that okra that was sliced, that dried okra is
Yeah.
is something that you sell at a very good price when it comes to dry
Wow.
season when the okra is no more on ground.
Okay. So during the dry season, that is when the price of the sliced dried onions, the prices picks up.
Sure, sure.
So that
That's it.
means a farmer that plants during rainy season, get it dried, store it, can still make money in dry season.
Yes, very well.
So that is for a farmer that is depending on rain. Now, when is the best time to plant okra?
By May, June, April, May, or June, you can plant when it depends on rain.
Okay, but if you are not depending on rain, it can, as long as you have irrigation, it can be planted all year
Yes,
round.
you can even plant now. This is one of the best time to plant okra because once it's ready for harvest, it will be a top notch. So the
I
price will be very high as of April, May, June. Once you plant by now, because the
oh,
okra, the rain dependent okra won't be out by then. So you'll be the one to
okay.
dictate your price.
Thank you so much. I've really learned a lot. Less than 20 minutes, I've really learned a lot about okra farming. Like I said in the notes, I do see that sliced dried onion, okra rather. And I'm always surprised
Mm.
that does it really move market because I know in Southwest our people are used to So, what will be your advice? We're about to end the show any moment from now. So, what are your advice, your last word? What are your advice for people who will be looking into okra farming this year, based on your experience and an highly experienced okra farming that you've seen the
Hey. Fuck.
what will you tell people who
Hello?
wants to do okra farming this year? What will be your advice to them?
My advice to them is one, they should start early, and two, they should get their figures right. They should plan ahead. Have all the things you need to plant, the instruments you need, the nematicide, the fungicide. Get them ready so that you won't have you won't have issues along the way. So the best thing for you to do is just have everything on ground, and also look into the market before planting because it varies when it comes to market. Market in Ibadan might be different from the one in Lagos. So do your market survey, know who you are selling to, and know your strategy of sales.
All right. Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Everyone you've heard from Mr. Opeoluwa, he has shared from his wealth of knowledge about okra farming. He has said, one, we should start with the right fertilizer, the right insecticide, the right seed, and every other things that are needed before going into it. He also talked about marketing. I so much love that he spoke about marketing. Like I usually tell people, not that I discourage, I tell them if you cannot find the market for it, don't sell, don't farm rather. If you cannot get who will buy from you, don't farm. Don't just go with assumption that because everybody eats okra, they will buy from you. Because before you even went into the farming of that, there are people who are into it. So you have to create your own market first before going into it.
Yes.
So thank you so much, Mr. Opeola. Thank you so much for Mr. Opeoluwa. Thank you so much for coming for the show. We are really blessed to have you. You really broke down okra farming in stages for us to understand. Thank you so much. We'll see you again
You're
once
welcome.
again in this. Yeah, goodbye.
Thank you very much for hosting me as well. Really appreciate it. Yeah.